Good morning. Let's do our rehandle project. Now this is the Laredo cold steel Bowie that I showed a couple videos back. Got to put a new handle on it. This one I've already taped it up. I got started a little ahead of time. Got it all taped up to protect the brass and the blade, because this is brand new, never been used. And this has what is called a coffin style handle. So it tapers up and then goes in here. Hey, it's pretty, it looks good. As far as actually using tap handle, I don't like it. It's too slick and there's no way to, you have to go in and pull back out your hand, you slip right off of it. I'm a big believer that you need grip on a knife handle. You don't need all that slick pretty stuff unless you just want it to look pretty. In the event that you ever might want to use it or need to use it. Now the Natchez Bowie that I did, the cold steel, I was saying Natchez. Somebody corrected me, it's Natchez. It had remember it had the cable that held it in there. It was impossible to get off. This is the same system in here. I forgot to send that back with the other knife. I'll send it back this time. But I can see that's what it looks like. The cable, and there's a great big wad of epoxy in there that you just can't get them off. If you try to heat it, you're going to set it on fire, and it's just a lot easier just go ahead and destroy it with that and get it off of there. So if you're squeamish, don't watch. Turn the camera down. Got our little anvil right here. Alright. See there? See all that epoxy in there? To get it off, it would have had to screw out, and you never would have got that screwed out. There's the other part. This one came off a lot easier than that last one. And we have handle all over the shop. Okay, see that cable? That is the silliest engineering nonsense I've ever seen. But maybe it's a cost-saving measure for them or something, I don't know. Cold steels are not bad knives, but that is not a design that I like. I know that much. Let's see, let's get us a chisel. Then we clean the rest of it up on the sander. Looking for my pliers. Now we're going to cut this off. Like that. Now we'll send this one back with that one. I won't forget it this time. Now we have to make us a full tang, just like we did before. So let me get all this junk cleaned up, and we'll get out some, we'll go the aluminum route. It's the same thickness as this, just like we did before. Be back in just a few minutes. Alright, got it sanded just a little bit on the sander. The trouble with that is I don't want to get down into the brass a lot, take too much. I got a sharp chisel. And it's getting in my face. Take most of that epoxy off of there. What little bit of wood is there. There's a stubborn spot right there. Notice small hammer. Now we've got a file. This is a laminate file. Cabinet makers use the trim laminate when they put the laminate tops on cabinets. What we're trying to get to is a square finish, so when the handle goes on, you'll not see it'll all be even all the way around. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, we're shiny all the way around. We know we're there. What I meant on the power sander, you'll not careful, you take too much. Then it'll look all wonky. And we don't like wonky. Piece of sandpaper. Make sure we're flat. We are. That's down inside there. One more little spot. Just like that. Still a little spot. Come on, get off of there. There we go. Tiny spot there. little blast. There we go. Now let's get out the material we're going to use to create a full tank. Alright, we got our new tang sitting here. Now I got some layout fluid on here. We're going to cut a notch out for it to slip over. Now this needs to be the best fit I can get. So I have to cut this very, very carefully. Alright, just like that. We get this situated to fit that just right, then we'll finish shaping what the handle is going to look like. That's a little carbide tipped scribe. Handy little tool to have. Now first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to drill a hole right here, a little bit before the line, that way I can file down to it. Then we'll cut that chunk out. Alright, we got our notch cut. Not a real tight fit, but that's okay. We're going to put epoxy in there and a liner on either side. Now this is the top of the blade. Let's get our rough profile. What we want our handle to look like. Something like that maybe. Cut it big as we're gonna adjust. Let's see, let's put us a little hook right there. It'll be something to grab against. This will be rounded too. Something like that. If we're big on both sides, so we can grind down to it, and this will be rounded right there. And double check, yep, this is the top of the blade. And the original blade was 4.5 inches long, which felt really good in the hand. This one is 4 3/4, which it'll probably be 4.5 by the time we do our adjusting down here. In my opinion, the best way to do something like this is don't try to draw it to scale. Don't try to print it on a computer. Draw it. If it looks good to you, it's good. If it don't, erase it, draw it again, and again, and again. So, there you go. Now we're going to cut this out, and we're going to select our liner material. Alright, this is black Ultrex micarta that we're going to use for the liner. Scribe our lines. There'll be one of these on each side. To start with, we'll just do this one side. Cut it to the same size as this, because remember, this is still big. This is still in the rough form. This is pretty thin micarta, so a good sharp pair of scissors will cut it. But this stuff is very, very strong. And being this is for a Army Ranger, we want subdued colors. I do have plenty of different kinds of these. I've got green and red. Well, the green is not a OD green. It's like a neon green. I didn't know it was that color when I got it, or I wouldn't have got it. And this is just normal supplies that you have to have around the knife shop, because you never know when you might need it. Well, I can hold on to anything. Then we'll go ahead and cut one for the other side while we're at it. Sorry, my fingers are so spread out, getting in the way of the camera, but when you have that, you have to do what you can do. And we'll put that back in the drawer and use the rest of that later. Go like this. I'll get epoxied up together. What I'll do, I'll epoxy this to this first. But before we do that, we got to clean it good. Clean it with some acetone. And since we know that's the side that's going down, let's go ahead and rough it just a little. Like that. I'll just give that epoxy a little bit better surface to stick to. Like that. Now, I'm going to clean this, and I'll be right back. I'm just going to take it on the belt sander and touch it, and then that's the thing. Alright, next step. Mix us up some more epoxy. We've got our walnut handle here, liner, still in this rough form, remember that. Good, okay, we're gonna epoxy this in here. Plenty in. Now this is 3-ton epoxy, and there will be a pin in here too, so this will hold it just fine. We have a little bit of squeeze out. We'll have to take care, double check. Okay, we're right there, lined up. You put clamp pressure on there. Just like that. Now, it's time to watch epoxy dry. That's the time consuming part of this. It'll be, this didn't dry that long, but it stuck together fine. Let's go ahead and put another clamp on there. just in case. Now this needs to set to its fullest. It'll be sort of hard within probably about 10 minutes, but we need it to cure really, really well. So we'll probably have to do the other side tomorrow, because it is getting late in the day. So far, everything's looking good. Good morning, everybody. It's cloudy, it's misty, pretty cool, and I got a box. Now I got this yesterday afternoon. First, I want to say, over the years, a lot of people have been very kind and generous, donated a lot of things to the shop, to the boat projects that I've worked on, and I appreciate that a lot. And I appreciate this is for the boat also. I was asked not to say where it came from, so I'm not. Thank you very much. This is almost too much. But this is something I wanted for at least 25 years, maybe more. It's the first time I fished in a boat that had these. I want some of those. So I fussed about it here lately. So I'm got a birthday coming up. Christmas is coming up. This year I'll be 61 years old. And that is too old to be dragging anchors up and down in the boat. Plus it's irritating because all the ropes on the floor and all that. So look what I got. There we go right there. Electric anchor hoist, winch, whatever you want to call it. These are the Strike Zone 25s, which are the most common ones around. I think Old Stump's boat's got the it's a 25. I think it's just like these. And got a pair of them. How about that? One for the front, one for the back. And 2 second switches to mount up by the steering wheel cockpit area. They got controls on them also. Now this is top of the line stuff right here. I don't know what to say. I'm beside myself that I finally got this. Something I've always wanted. Now I'm not going to try to install them today. The weather's sort of balmy out there, and I do have a couple other things to finish anyway for customers. Customers come first over my little junk that I like to do. But unless it comes to family, that's a whole different thing. Y'all know that. Everybody should be that way. Anyway, there they are. When I do the install, I'll take you along with me. I've still got to figure out exactly where to put them, and we'll see all that sometime next week, I hope. Got a lot of work coming up this week. Y'all get your Christmas orders in, please. Got the first Christmas order of the year yesterday, so I'll work on that this week. And the rehandle, there's a whole video going on about that. That's nearing completion now, maybe today. Thank y'all for watching. Thank you for your support. Hit that thumbs up button. That helps the channel a lot. Thank you. Alright, our handle is dried overnight. Keep in mind, this is still the very, very rough stage. Now, we're going to go over to the grinder and start shaping the handle. A lot of material to remove. I don't want to overheat it, so it will take a little while. Alright, first round of grinding is done. The tang got really not too hot, but it got hot, so we're going to let it cool. And that'll be the general shape. We're going to take some more off of it right through the middle here. And of course we'll knock the ends off. Got the mechanical fastener there. And I'll put 2 more here just to match that one. And moving right along. And I have a final one little adjustment at the end I'll show y'all. But looking good so far. I like it. Y'all like it? Hit that thumbs up button. I'm telling y'all, you have no idea how much that helps the channel. If you like it, hit the thumbs up. If you don't like it, hit the thumbs down. It does the same thing. Alright, here's our handle. Still rough shaped. Got to put one more pin in it up here. And then I will start doing the tapers. Now normally I would use the router, but it's got this finger guard up here and that won't allow me to get up there. I'm afraid it would hit where it's not supposed to hit. So I'm going to do that by hand. Won't take very long. That's how I used to do all of them. So get our pin installed next and then start shaping. It's looking good. Alright y'all. Sanding is done. Now it's time to polish and put the finish on. Now walnut has its own oil and it will bring some of the oil out, but I'm going to put a coat of linseed oil very lightly on the wood. And I got out the little grinder with a little buffer. And we're going to use oil and beeswax for the final. Now this has nothing but beeswax on it, and this is clean. This had never had compound on it because we don't want anything abrasive. And let's see how long it takes us to polish it, and then it'll be done. Change of plan. Let's use mineral oil. I think that might work better. Well, let's go ahead and see what it looks like. It's pretty good, huh? Okay, we'll put a couple of coats of this on there really lightly. Let it soak in, then I'll get to the buffer. Alright y'all, our Laredo Bowie is done. Now before I say that, this is no shave November. I'm trying to see how long I can get away with it before Mama gets mad at me, but we'll see. Alright, don't want to cut myself. There we go. From the silly cable tang to full tang. Right there it is. Now this pin here, the front pin, is a mechanical fastener that goes through the original tang. What little bit of it there was. And this one's just to decorate and help hold it together. 3-ton epoxy, it's not going anywhere. Be just fine. Polished up the brass. Right there. Looks really good. I did nick it just a little bit in sanding, but not so bad. Not noticeable unless you're really staring at it, but there we go. Didn't do anything to the blade. Let the blade just like it is. Original sheath. there we go. It's ready to go back home. Now this is the second rehandle I've done for this gentleman, or Ranger. Gentleman and Ranger may not be the same thing. I got you. But and I built another knife for him. So he did send a deposit in, but I'm gonna go ahead and send this one back tomorrow, and me and him will worry about the rest of it. One thing I will say, had a little incident, not an incident, but I talked to a fella a couple weeks back with a very, very similar project, and he was very reluctant to send a down payment with it, and because he said I don't know you. Well, I don't know you either. So plus I have 6 knives in my top drawer over the last 5 years that have been sent to me for this kind of work, restorations and all that, that did the work, never heard back. 3 of them were actually dropped off at the shop by a pastor that won't answer me back. A couple other ones, nobody answered me back. That is the reason why I prefer payment up front, or at least a deposit. And it's very doubtful that you're going to find anybody that'll do it without doing that. But if you can, there you go. Go with them. Let them do it. It's my shop, my rules. That makes sense? I hope it does. Just like ordering a knife. You don't say, I want 2 of these, 2 of these, 2 of these, and mail them to me and I'll pay you. That's not the way the world works. It don't work that way anymore. But unless you have bought numerous knives from me, I've done numerous work for you, and that's a little different story. See, because nobody really knows anybody, if you know what I mean. So if that one doesn't show up in the next day or two, said it was mailed, but I hadn't seen it. If that individual's listening, if you hadn't mailed it yet, just please don't. I've got plenty of work. So find somebody else. I know that might sound snippy, but business is business. All right, there you go. All right, Ranger 1, this will be on the way back to you. I'm going to pack it up tonight, and I'm going to send it out in the mail. And I will email you later this evening. Thank y'all very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for your support. And I will see y'all very soon with something else. I got more knives to build too.